Welcome back to the Lumios Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're talking about Ash Ketchum. Specifically, it has actually now been a year, a little over a year when this is being posted, since Ash Ketchum's journey came to an end. The last episode of Aim to Be a Master aired, I think it was like March 23rd or 24th, and that was it. That was the last we saw of Ash Ketchum. Currently, we're following Pokemon Horizons with Liko, Freed, Roy, and all the others on the Rising Volt Tacklers crew. So I wanted to use this time, now that we're a year later, to reflect on Ash's journey and talk about the things that I would have done differently, because I think that's kind of the bitter part of the bittersweet ending to Ash's journey, right? Is that they gave him an 11-episode send-off called Aim to Be a Master, where he was traveling around with Brock and Misty, and it was very disappointing. It definitely had its high points, you know, like getting to see Ash and Misty battle again over a Pokemon was very reminiscent of when they battled over Totodile. That was really fun. Getting to see Squirtle again, and Squirtle reunited with Charizard and Bulbasaur, and, of course, the return of Ash's Pidgeot, and Ash recapturing Pidgeot. That was all so cool. But then, like, you just have these random filler episodes in it, and it's like, why? Like, seriously, why are we doing this? But they did. They had them, like, what's with the Beartic episode? You know, sure, it was cute, but why, you know? Not to mention all the hype around Latias. A lot of people are like, oh, he's gonna catch Latias. He's finally catching a, like, legendary that we've wanted him with for so long. Nope, nothing. So I wanted to take my own personal take on Ash's journey and how I would have ended it, because I actually really do think that Pokemon dropped the ball with Ash's journey. There was a lot of missed opportunities. So let's get into it. So first off, we got to talk about Galar. Galar is kind of the last saga that Ash had before the 11-episode miniseries of Aim to Be a Master. It wasn't really Galar, though, was it? It was Pokemon Journeys. This was when Ash was traveling around with Go and sometimes Chloe, I guess. They were traveling around the world, just exploring different things. Go's goal was to capture all the Pokemon, working his way up to Mew. And Ash, his goal was that he was competing in the Pokemon World Coronation Series, and was basically trying to become the #1 trainer in the world. Obviously, that seems like a very fitting place to end Ash's journey, and I think the reason they did this is because Ash had just won a league with the Sun and Moon anime. He won the Alola League. He has become a champion. He's a champion. But I think, like, that was the thing. We were all kind of knowing whenever Ash wins a league is when he's, you know, probably going to be saying goodbye. But I feel like with the Alola League, the Alola League was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. But it was lackluster. It wasn't the same caliber of the leagues Ash had competed in the past. You know, in the past leagues, these were leagues that you had to have 8 gym badges to prove yourself just to enter the league. And so these trainers were entering, like, the first round was a 3-on-3 battle, then they'd work their way up to 6-on-6 battles, and instead the last round of the Alola League was a 3-on-3 battle. Sure, you had the 6-on-6 battle between Ash and Kukui, but to be frank with you, that doesn't really count, because whether Ash had won that match or not, as amazing as that match was, that was not what decided that he was the Alola champion. It was his match against Gladion that gave him the title of the Alola League champion. So, I just feel like it would have been cool to see Ash take on a real league. So I think in Galar, instead of doing this journeys all around the different regions thing, I think that they instead should have had Ash go to the Galar region, travel through the Galar region, and do the Galar League challenge. That way he's kind of won a more traditional league, right? I mean, because again, he'd be competing against other gym leaders in the league rather than, you know, Lana and Sophocles. You know, you get what I'm saying. No hate to the Alola League. I don't want that to be what people take away from this video. I just really feel like they didn't have to end it with that. That should not have been his last time becoming a champion. And see, that's actually what's so interesting about the Galar League too. The Galar League is pretty competitive. You actually cannot, this is canon lore in the games, mind you, you cannot enter the Galar League and do the Galar Gym Challenge unless you have been endorsed by like a special person. This can be the chairman of the league, Chairman Rose, the champion, Leon, or a gym leader, you know, someone of importance. You know, you can't just have your neighbor Joe endorse you. Joe is nothing. He does nothing. He can't endorse you. So, you know, and I do want to shout out Zaktoshi because he has done a whole rewrite of the Gen 8 anime, and he took the same approach with Ash entering the League Challenge, the Gym Challenge, and it is incredible. Highly recommend you watch that. It's been shown up here, but also it will be linked in the description below. But I think that he had this great idea in that too, right? That Ash would want to compete in this league because it was so competitive, you know, and he even proposed that Leon sends an invitation to Ash to, you know, compete in this league after seeing his victory in the Alola League and kind of getting inspired by that battle. That makes a ton of sense. I'd like to run with that as well. I say that that's where Ash should go. I think he'd go through all the gyms in Galar, work his way to the league, and eventually would defeat Leon in the league. I don't really know who the side protagonist would be. Again, Zaktoshi did have him with Hop and Gloria, which is the female protagonist of Sword and Shield. I like that a lot. I'd stick with that. That's really cool. Also, for his team, I would say absolutely give Ash a Rillaboom. That'd be really cool. Single Strike Urshifu, a whole arc where he's training with Mustard. That is just genius. Absolutely, he should get that. I really liked the Gen 8 Pokemon he did get in Journeys, Dracovish and Sirfetch'd. So, honestly, I'd throw those two on his team. And then for the last slot, I'd give him a Corviknight because, you know, he needs a flyer. He needs his regional bird. So, we're going to give him Corviknight there. I will say, if someone wanted to replace Rillaboom with Flapple, wouldn't be too mad about that. But either way, that's how I would have Ash's team. Be Pikachu, Corviknight, Sirfetch'd, Dracovish, Single Strike Urshifu, and then either Flapple or Rillaboom. Again, I think Ash would go through the gym challenge, beat all the gyms, and then would defeat the league, would defeat Leon in the final battle. And so there you have it. Ash has now become champion of a league in Alola, but now has become champion of like an official league with an official gym challenge that, you know, was a lot more high stakes. You had to beat 8 gym badges to be in it. You couldn't just, you know, enter with just your Alolan Vulpix and kind of Magearna. No, you had to prove yourself to get into this tournament, and Ash did that and then beat all the others who did, then worked his way through the championship bracket and defeated Leon. So it is indisputable now. Ash is a great trainer. What's next for him? Do we aim to be a master now? We give him an 11-episode send-off and end it? No. I would say send him to Paldea. Paldea is the perfect place to end Ash's story. Why is that? Well, that's because Paldea introduced a new concept to us that's honestly genius, and that is the champion rank. Now, in past games, there is one champion in each region. And when you defeat that champion is no longer the champion. You are now the champion. But in Paldea, instead, they did a champion rank. So anybody who works their way through the gyms and defeats the Elite Four and then the champion, the chairwoman Gita, then you are now a champion rank trainer. So I think that this is just the perfect thing to do with Ash. You just bring him to this region and you say that all the gym leaders in this region are champion rank. And what that does is that now makes it where this gym isn't like the Sinnoh League. This gym challenge isn't the Kanto League, not even the Galar League. No, this is a league where all the gym leaders are champions. They're no different than Ash. They're all champions just like Ash. They're all equals. Because I think that's the thing, right? Is that the reason they ended it after he became champion is because, and specifically the reason that he didn't do the gym challenge after he became champion, was because it wouldn't be believable anymore, I guess. You know, because Ash is a champion. Of course he's going to do better than the first gym leader after the first route, you know. But this would be saying no, because that first gym leader is a champion too. I think it would be a ton of fun for the protagonists in this series. I would honestly have Nemona and Arven. And the reason I would pick these two is because Nemona is a great character. I think genuinely one of my favorite rivals of all time. Plus, this would be a kind of nice change in approach. Normally, when you're looking at the group of three, right, you have Ash, you have the female protagonist, and then you have the mentor character, like the guy who's watching Ash's gym battles and goes, oh no, he can't use Pikachu here, that's a ground type, you know? That was Brock, that was Silent, that was Clement. But now I would say make that Nimona. We would finally see a female character kind of be that, smart, wise, mature character. And then, of course, you can have your own gimmick where instead of falling in love with everybody or pretending to be a detective or your inventions blow up, she is just constantly like, Ash, you want to battle? And he's like, yes, absolutely, because, that's totally up Ash's alley too. And then you have Arvin kind of, grabbing both their ears and being like, no, guys, we got to get to the next town. I think that would be a really fun dynamic, these three. I think that would work really, really great together. And again, it would be cool to see the female protagonist actually be the more mentor role instead of the novice trainer role like they've been in the past. Now, Gen 9 has not been wrapped up yet, so it's a little difficult for me to accurately predict Ash's team because, for all we know, they're about to debut a new Pokemon that maybe they would give Ash because there is a new game coming out, Pokemon Legends ZA. So what I would say is, as of right now, Ash's team would be, he would get a Fuecoco. I think that fits him really, really well. He would get a Flamigo. He would get a Citadel. He would get a Cyclozar, because I think that also would fit him really, really well. Of course, Pikachu would be on there. And then I think that he would get a Riolu, because that was a really good thing about Journeys. And in this scenario, we've done something different. We didn't do Journey, so Ash never got his Riolu. I would give him his Riolu here in Paldea because, again, that was really, really cool, right? Like, that was an iconic moment. Ash finally got a Lucario. That was one of the biggest W's that Journeys gave us. So I would say let's stick with that. Let's give Ash his Riolu here. Plus, what that does is it allows it to evolve into a Lucario, and then Ash can Mega Evolve that Lucario as kind of your cross promotion with Pokemon Legends ZA, since we know that that game will be bringing Mega Evolution back into the core series. Now, I would also really like Kilowattrel in place of Flamigo, but, Ash usually doesn't catch electric types. In fact, he never has because he has Pikachu. So if the writers wanted to keep doing that, I imagine he'd get Flamigo. But to be frank with you, if they wanted to say, screw it, it's our last hurrah, let's give him Kilowattrel, I do think that would work really well with him. It's like a permanently Thunder Armor Swellow. Love Kilowattrel. I would throw that on his team in place of Flamigo, but I wanted to say Flamigo there just to give some leg room, either or. I could also see a Charcadet maybe as a reserve, perhaps one of Ash's Pokemon goes into training or something. We see that every once in a while, like in Sinnoh, how he had Gliscor and it went into training, so he replaced it with Gibble, or even a rotation type thing like in Unova. So I could see Ash doing something like this and getting a Charcadet to evolve into an Armarouge. Likely his rival in the series would have a Surledge. I think that would be a lot of fun too. So then this would be this beautiful series where Ash is battling these champion level gym leaders, same as him, and finally makes his way to the Elite Four, takes on the Elite Four, and then takes on the chairwoman Gita. And then similar to the games, how you have that climactic final battle against Nimona in the Plaza and Mesagoza, Ash would do the same. He would have the final battle against the person who's been mentoring him through this region, this person that was champion rank and kind of helped him get to champion rank in Paldea as well. That would be so incredible to me. I think that would be an amazing end to this series, that he's battling this mentor character, and even better that it's Nimona, right? The best. And then that would be it for Paldea. But I did like the concept, just not the execution, of Aim to Be a Master. I like the idea of doing an 11-episode send-off. I just think there's some things you could do differently. For one, I do think it would have been cool if we got to see every single past protagonist in that miniseries. And I think you could easily do that by episode 1 is them celebrating Ash's victory in Pow Town, and all of his past companions are there at the Pow Town celebration. And then you have Ash, Misty, and Brock leave from there to go on their journey that they went on and Aim to Be a Master. Again, would change some things up there. I don't see the need for filler episodes. Because you have to remember, Aim to Be a Master, they said, Aim to Be a Master is going to be 11 episodes. It's the last 11 episodes of Ash Ketchum. So I feel like if you're going to put that weight on it, you're going to say these are the last 11 episodes of Ash. What happened because they did that was every episode was a little stressful, right? You're wanting something to happen because you know, I only have 8 more episodes left. Oh, I only have 7 episodes left. Oh no, I only have 6 more episodes left and nothing's happened yet. You know, you want that. So I would say do that. Give these episodes some more weight. Give them no fillers. We don't need fillers. And I would include episodes where Ash went and saw some of his past Pokemon, like he met up with the Lapras he once owned. Even though nothing super eventful happened in that episode other than him re-meeting up with that Lapras, I would say like that is still a valid non-filler episode. I love it. I would keep that. And, you know, maybe we need to make this more than 11 episodes. Maybe it needs to be 20. I don't know the exact layout, but I think you should give it the room to do everything you want to do with Ash's character before saying goodbye. And I feel like Aim to Be a Master didn't do that. If you're going to do the Latias plot, let him catch the Latias in the end, man. Come on. Let him catch the Latias in the end. And I did love that he caught Pidgeot in the end because in the English dub, I believe this is not the case in the Japanese dub, but in the English dub, he promises to return to Pidgeot and never does. So it was very satisfying for an English fan to see that Ash did reunite with his Pidgeot and even re-added it to his team. Some other things you could do is have Ash, you know, oh, there's a ping pong competition here in this town that me, Misty, and Brock are in. Let's go check it out. That's my Ambipom, you know, or his Apom. But, you know, it's participating in this big ping pong tournament. You get a reuniting episode with Ambipom. Maybe even, because it is Gen 9, you have him go to the P1 championships, the final round of the P1 championships. What's going to happen here? This is like the decides all battle. It's his Primeape. Oh no. The guy, I think his name was Anthony. I don't remember. That might be totally wrong. But the guy who was training Primeape got injured and can't make it to the match. So Ash has to command Primeape during this match. And Primeape evolves into Annihilape and finally becomes the P1 champion. Little things like that would have gone such a far way and would have just gone so hard, right? Like, oh man, that would have been so cool. But then ultimately, you have that final episode. I'd keep it the exact same. Recatching Pidgeot, kind of Team Rocket getting their old reserves back. Ash realizing that, like, you know, I don't know what's next, and him figuring out what is next. And figuring out what the meaning of being a Pokemon Master is, and then setting off once again another journey with him and Pikachu, kind of just showing this is always a constant for us. It doesn't matter if we're the Alola champion, if we're the Galar champion, if we're the Paldea champion rank, we are going to keep traveling, and we're never going to stop traveling. That's just such a beautiful ending, I think. This would also allow you to say Ash won his first league at Alola. He won a regular old league in Galar with a gym challenge and everything, and then he even beat a whole Elite Four because Galar didn't have an Elite Four, so Paldea would have been the first time he was battling an Elite Four, and also beat a champion level league. So just as good, in my opinion, as being the #1 trainer in the World Coronation Series. That is personally how I'd end off Ash's saga. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to let me know what you think of this, as well as let me know how you would have ended Ash's journey. How'd you feel about Aim to Be a Master 2? You know, we're a year away, and man, I don't know about y'all, but while I am enjoying Pokemon Horizons, I do miss Ash Ketchum, and I do hope we see him again. And if I'm honest, I think we will in Gen 10, but, you know, I'm not a prophet, and I'm definitely not an insider, so who knows? Until next time, I will see all of you later.